right, I'm going to start off with just having the bolster on the mat. So if you have a pillow or a bolster, body pillow is fine too. Go ahead and place it right in the middle of your mat. And we will start off with some pranayama practice. It's really nice to bring awareness into the space of where you wish to be. You could even try time travel during this time of working on some energy. We're also going to work on some of one of my favorite breathing exercises, another prana practice, especially with yin yoga, and also with yoga nidra, which is also known as yoga and meditation for sleep, and that is the nadi shodhana practice. There could be not enough of practicing some nadi shodhana. So we'll work on that towards the end of our practice this evening. All right? Take your time, and if you haven't done so, go ahead and close your eyes. Find a comfortable space, and as you find a comfortable space with your eyes closed, begin to notice any awareness into the breath. As you bring awareness into the breath, find out where you are drawing the space in towards the most. Fine-tune any of the senses, sensations that are coming up, what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can taste. With your eyes closed, what do you see? Are you time traveling? Are you in this very present, in this very moment? You notice any touch or sensation of where you feel the most around in your body? Could be even in your belly. Let your belly rest. Move past any shallow breathing as you take a deep breath in as you inhale for 4. Exhale, let go for 6 breaths, or 6 counts, I'm sorry. For 6 counts, release, let go here. Take a deep breath in. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. And on the next inhale, roll those shoulders up and bring them back until you notice your collarbone, or when you notice your shoulders come back, you're going to take a deep breath in and roll them back. You can feel that sensation in the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in, inhale. Inhale again. Roll those shoulders back and then roll them forward. Take a deep breath in and exhale here. And here you'll notice your shoulder, you'll notice more of your collarbone. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Deep breath in. Shake it out. Notice the rise and fall in the belly. Even if you've just eaten something, or if your belly's growling because you're hungry, can't wait till after yoga class that you'll be able to nourish yourself. Move with the breath. A few more breaths here, and adjust your posture to where you feel, whether you're sitting in Sukhasana, legs crossed, which is where I am at, or if you're sitting on your heels, in Virasana, also known as hero pose. I'd like you to notice or bring into the space of your keeping your spine erect. So you want to keep the spine as straight like a flat board as much as possible, even if you notice some achiness, and it may be because you're just not used to keeping it open, keeping your chest open, and your spine straight, and you want to keep it as straight as possible, so that way you're increasing the amount of flexibility into the spine. Really, it's a really healthier way of sitting and even standing, is to keep your spine as straight as possible, and again, increasing the amount of flexibility, and also helps open up the hips. So it increases also the, it improves, not increases, but it improves any tension in the hips. A few more breaths here. This is a good time to set your intention where you wish or where you'd like to aim your practice at the most. Inhale here. Exhale, let go. Very nice. Let's go ahead and begin our practice with one Om. You can whisper, you can sound out your Om, you can just say it to yourself. You can even set your intention of your Om. Notice any vibration moving through the body is your Om. You can sing your Om as well. Very nice. Slowly open your eyes on the next inhale. Beautiful. All right, we're going to start off with raising our arms up. Raise them up, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders, let them fall. Elbows are slightly bent right at the ears, and we're going to come into a nice side bend, but we're going to keep the hips stable. We're going to keep them in to the mat, or if you're sitting on a pillow or bolster as I am. I'm going to raise that arm, and again, root yourself down by not lifting up the hip. So we want to keep the hip down as much as possible, come into a nice side bend. It's a little bit of an intense feeling, an intense sensation, and that's where you wish to be, is where you want to be. Raise your arms up, inhale, and then exhale onto the other side of your side bend. Really nice way to take a deep breath in. Again, bringing awareness into the breath, into the chest, into the heart, into the belly. And raise the arm up again to center. And one more time, but this time we're going to rotate the arm. If you have some limited range of motion, it's okay. Do what you can. Meet yourself where you are. And then moving into the opposite direction, wherever you started off with, if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And then raise the arm back up on the next in-breath. Just doing that alone is so relaxing and allows me to bring that anxiety level down if I have any, or when I do have any anxiety. It just brings awareness into the space, like, okay, I'm anxious and that's okay, but here are some strategies on lowering that anxiety. Relieving any of the tension into the interstitial tissues and in between the tissues and muscle groups. And we're going to bring our hands back down, but keep yourself rooted into the seat. So your seat, you want to keep your seat deep into the mat or the bolster, and bring your arms and fingertips in front of you. Nice bend in the elbows. Try not to lock any joints, and coming back. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into a couple cat-cow stretches just to warm up the back. And I'm sure our bodies have been warmed up all day just because of the nice and beautiful weather. But let me tell you how much of a big difference it makes when you are churning into the evening or into the morning, or just transitioning through your day of doing a few or several cat-cow stretches. All right, we'll take the pillow or the bolster away to the side. Hands are planted into the mat. Fingers are spread apart using your palm pads and finger pads. And knees are directly underneath your hips. As if you're sticking out your seat, sticking out your bum. If you can see me, there you go. You're going to lower down, chest down, seat comes out. Raise your chest up, head up, pulling the heart forward on the inhale, on the in breath. Expand your lungs, take a deep breath in, and exhale. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Very nice. Notice yourself gliding side to side, front and back, and inhale again. Expand the lungs, take a deep breath in. Look up on the cow pose, like you're going to say a move. Inhale here. Very nice. Now we're going to come into thread the eye of the needle, but instead of thread the eye of the needle, we're just going to do the eye of the needle. And I haven't done this for a few weeks, and I just want to bring it back. It really helps bring down some anxiety too, and it helps you prepare for sleep. Something about the hips, when you're grounding the hips down into the mat, it really helps open up any or release any tensions that you may have. So I like to, I will just sit on the mat instead of using the bolster, so I'll be on a much flatter surface. I'm going to keep the knees apart, legs apart, feet apart. Take a deep breath in, and usually we do this towards the end of the class, but we're going to start this off in the beginning. All right, so as you take a deep breath in, raise your arms up, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale here, bring those fingertips down onto the ground. Outside of your mat, of course, is where you are. Very nice. We'll walk our hands over to one side, reaching for the back of your feet. Or you can just tuck your fingers underneath your shins or ankle is fine. And then reaching over to the other side. Take a deep breath in, inhale here, reaching for the back of your feet on the other side. And then exhale here, releasing. It's really important to really move in through the breath, because as you do this, you're really expanding your lungs, and you're also releasing all the any tensions and all of the CO2 that needs to be rid out of the body. It needs to be moved out of the body. Just really moving the breath. Very nice. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to bring our feet together. And as we bring the feet together, if you're on a hard surface like I am on hardwood floor, you can use a blanket to help you if you feel your ankles are a little bit too tight. And just place it right outside the mat. Now what we're going to do here is very similar to threading the eye of the needle, okay? What we're going to do is raise our arms up, and as you exhale, we're going to bring one arm down underneath the knee. We're going to place the other arm over the head, or you can place it over the feet. Either way is fine. You're gravitating your chest on towards the earth. Next, inhale up. Exhale, come down. You're going to thread the arm on the other side. And again, one more time. Thread the arm under the knee by the calf. And raise it back up. And then other side. Beautiful. Next inhale, reach up and bring your arms back down. Very nice. Now what we're going to do next is another strategy to reduce some anxiety that you may notice or experience right before you're going to bed. You really want to just have a clean slate of just not too many heavy things going on. It also helps empty your mind and help relieve or alleviate any kind of tensions that you might be carrying around with you, like old energies or just the energy that you just picked up throughout the whole day and you just can't shake it, can't get rid of it, right? Okay, so we're going to raise one arm up while we're in tabletop position, okay? Fingers again are spread apart. We're going to place one palm right in the middle, in front of the chest, or in front of the collarbone, and both knees are directly underneath the hip. And your your knees are hip distance apart. You want to arch your spine, arch your back, and we're going to raise one arm up. It's like a big hug. It's like you're hugging the earth. Exhale here. Inhale, up. Exhale here. It's like you're hugging the earth as you come down on the exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale here. Beautiful. And on to the other side. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Raise the arms up. Try to keep the hips stable, which means your hips are squared right in front of you. And then you're going to exhale. It's almost like you're going to come into aligning the shoulder down onto the mat, but we're not doing that. We're just going to place it up like you're hugging the earth. Very nice. Inhale up. Very nice. All right. Now we're going to come in and check in with our balance, which I always like to do in trying to test the balance, especially towards the end of the day. It really tells me where I'm at in my day. If I'm out of balance, and even if I'm out of balance, it just, my body's telling me that it's aware. It's aware of the equilibrium and anything that might be falling heavy on me. So that's what I like to do is just check in with my balance sometimes. And I do this towards the end of the day into the evening. And I do this by lifting one leg up. And as I lift one leg up, I'm going to raise the opposite limb. So if my left leg is up, my right arm is up. And as I, excuse me. And as I exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, bring it in and squeeze. And exhale again. And then moving on to the other side. And what I like to do is move on to the other side of the mat just for you to see. You could still stay in the same position as you wish to be on your mats. Okay? So using the other limb this time, so I'm going to use my right leg up. As I raise my right leg up, left arm comes up. Exhale here. Inhale out. Rounding the back, rounding the spine. Exhale here. Inhale up. Exhale. And as you exhale, releasing, so you're surrendering, letting go here. There you go. We're going to do a really quick flow before we come back down onto the mats. See if there's any comments or something if you are not able to hear me. Hey, Dennis. All right. So next, what we're going to do is come into downward facing dog. Our body's pretty warmed up. Tuck your toes. Remember, fingertips are apart. As your fingers are apart, you're using your palm pads and your finger pads, lifting up through the seat. Lift your seat up, coming into an upside down V as you come into downward facing dog. Pedal one heel at a time. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Really deep in the stretch here. Looking into the belly right behind you. Allow your shoulders to be away from the ears so you're not all shrugged up. Shoulders shrugged up. Walk your feet. Elephant walk up towards the top of the mat. Hug opposite elbows and hinge forward. And as you hinge forward, chest Move towards the knees. Moving side to side, front and back. Allow your heels to really plant into the mat, planting into the earth. Nice way of reconnecting with the earth as well. Raise your arms up into Tadasana. Mountain pose. Keeping your heels rooted down onto the mat. And move into Swan Dive. And moving in any way you wish to flow into. We're now going to move into a plank. Feet come back. Coming back to downward facing dog. Going to inhale, right leg up. Glide it through, moving up towards the top of the mat. Back heels off the mat into Anjaneyasana because you're in a Hatha lunge, or a crescent lunge is what they also call it. And then you're going to come down through your back knee. Be creative in any way you can, as long as you keep yourself safe. You want to make sure that you are using safe body alignment. Raise that knee back up. Left palm next to the right foot, or if your left foot is forward, you want to have your right palm next to the left foot. Raise your arm up, aligning here. Stack the shoulder. Exhale, come back down, both palms at the top of the mat. Front foot comes back. Roll the front body towards the top of the mat as you come into a plank. Chest comes up, roll your shoulders back, tuck your toes back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Raise your right leg up again. Exhale, bring it forward to the top of the mat, coming into a standing split. Back leg up, hands off the mat, or you can use your blocks to help support you best. Bringing your left foot to meet up with the right. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, find a space to wrap your hands behind your shins. Inhale up. This time we'll come into reverse swan. Raise arms up. I feel like my chest has been open. Broken, like it's like breaking the chest bone open. Just feels really, really good. Swan dive again. Ooh. Hop back or step back. Moving on to the other side. Coming into downward facing dog. Shake your head no. Oh, yes, it feels good. Nod your head yes. Pushing the earth away with your palm pads. Left foot up. Inhale, exhale, forward, out. Arms up. Remember your back heel's off the mat. As you have your back heel off the mat, you're in crescent lunge or hatha. Bring that knee down. And make sure your knee is not past the ankle for safe body alignment. And now we're going to place the right palm next to the left foot, or vice versa, with which you are switching off to. Raise that arm up. 2 breaths here. Very nice. Both palms at the top of the mat. Front foot comes back into downward facing dog. Whew. Very nice flow here. Lower down, balance your plank, chest up, roll the shoulders back, tuck the toes, back into downward facing dog. One more time, left foot, left leg goes up. Exhale, bring it forward to the top of the mat as we come into a standing split. Make sure you can see me here. You want to keep the hips as stable as possible, not turning the hip out because that strains the other hip. On that standing split for the split, 1 to 2 seconds. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale. Forward fold. And again, arms out into mountain pose. Deep in the stretch through the breath. Beautiful, very nice. And how are you all doing? All right, wonderful. And just trying to be respectful of time, seeing where we are. There we go. All right, so we're now going to come back down onto the mat. I don't want to run out of time with coming into some restorative poses. I just have to cut down the amount of time as we move into the several breaths with some restorative poses, because what happens is we run out of the poses, run out of time to do the poses, and then we end up not having to spend as much time. So when I do demonstrate a pose that is restorative, just try to spend more time doing it when you're on your own or when you practice it on your own. So that way, I'll just cut the time shorter to do that. But just know with restorative and yin practice, you got to be in that pose for at least, I would say, 10 to 12 full breaths, which is about 5 minutes for each pose. All right. So one of the must need and necessary poses here I like to practice on is the supportive child pose. So we'll move into that. In your supportive child pose, we're just going to place the bolster in front of you. Having some technical issues with my camera, so just bear with me here. There we go. Perfect. You can see here. So as we're getting ready to go into restorative pose, if you have a pillow that you can grab, we're really going to need that to come into a restorative pose. Turn this way. Oh. Like that. Hopefully you can see with where I'm at. So it's important for you to see this part here, because we're going to place the bolster right in the middle of your thighs. So, let's see. It's much easier to have an iPhone to come into teaching a class live. All right, so if you have a bolster in front of you, we're going to come into child pose. And in your child pose, it's much easier body mechanic wise to practice with the knees apart. But sometimes anyone who has issues with their hips and the knees being in a position for a certain amount of time, please don't push yourself. Just do what you can and meet yourself where you are. All right? Knees are apart, and you're going to have the bolster right in the middle of you. So you have the bolster, the corners are going to be right in the middle of your thighs. All right, it's right at the opening of your inner thighs. And take a deep breath in. You want to be able to sit on your heels. There we go. One big toe is crossing with the other big toe. We're going to raise our arm up. Raise them up high as much as possible. Really deep in that stretch. And exhale, bringing yourself entire body, chest and head down. And you can have the block right in front of you to be able to rest your head, okay? And as you exhale, place one cheek down onto the bolster. Really hug the entire bolster and trust the bolster to hold your body. You hold your torso, entire chest, and deep breathe. Moving to the deep breath, soft and deep, soft and deep. Beautiful. We're going to be here for about, I want to say about 8 breaths, 8 full breaths, which is going to be about 2 minutes. And keep the bolster right underneath you. There we go. And as you move with the breath, go. Thanks for your patience as we are moving through these technical things that we have to work through, these logistics of getting the camera positioned correctly. So while you are down, chest down, entire body is relied and resting onto the bolster. Guess how many breaths it takes for you to really notice the sensation of opening and breaking open the hip flexors is really important. The hip bones. It takes about 7 full breaths. On the inhale and exhale is when you really notice the sensation of being able to rest the entire body, really decreasing and improving any anxiety that may be going on in the body. All right? If you haven't done so, go ahead and turn your cheek onto the other side. So as you turn your cheek, looking onto the other side of the room, there we go. Move with the breath. Deep breath here. Go. And if you notice any achiness into the thighs or towards the hip joints, you're really working the correct areas. You're working into the area of where you're releasing some tensions and also moving in through the core. All right, so on the next inhale, we're going to raise your head up. But be careful as you bring yourself up or raise yourself up, not too quickly, because we've allowed our connective tissue deeper than the muscle groups to just spread open and be able to break open any tensions there, okay? So raising your entire body, upper body up, still having these in a good bend. Place the bolster away from you. Bring the knees apart, and let's come into a counter stretch from where we were in the restorative or supportive child pose. So we're going to raise, not raise, but we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back and really stretch out the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades, scapula into the back, really deep in that stretch. You could even come down, bringing the head down towards the mat. If you don't want to move this deep, that's fine. Just be creative in any way you can. Keep a bend in the elbows as well. Very nice. Now we're going to move into another pose. another restorative pose that I like to do, and that is crossing the legs together like you're coming into Sukhasana. Well, actually it's Baddha Konasana, and that is having the feet facing each other. So the soles of the feet facing each other. We're going to place the sandbag right over the feet. Try not, if you have a sandbag, that's great. You could even use like a safe, soft weight, like any soft, you know, the rubber weights that they have, or even if you have any wrist weights or ankle weights, you could use that too. But I like to use a sandbag, something that's heavy but also safe to keep right over the feet. It helps ground the feet down and towards the ground and towards the earth, okay? And we're going to place the bolster right in the middle of the legs. If you have a pillow, could be your pillow, could be your body pillow, and just fold it in half. Anything like that is perfect. And we're going to hug the bolster. And what I like to do is even add a little bit more of the yum-yum to this pose, increasing and improving the yumminess in this pose, and just placing the forehead lightly right over the block. You can also, if you don't want to,